If you were to sit down and take the time to kind of tally up your life, all the things that you're currently doing, everything you're working on, things that are going poorly, things that are going well, things you've achieved, things you didn't achieve, kind of take everything in your life and analyze it and critique it, I think you'd probably find that a lot of the problems in that problems column would be self-induced. Now, this isn't 100% of the time. Obviously, there are things in life that we can't control that are just outside the realm of being able to have any kind of impact on, and they just happen to us and we have to deal with it. Those things suck, and those things are just the worst in life. You never want that to happen. Those are things you kind of like, you hope never happen. But there's an other portion, and I think oftentimes people can get confused. They treat all of their problems as if they're outside of their control. They look at the few things that are happening to them from the outside, and they lump everything else into that category, even though a lot of those problems are self-induced and could easily be self-corrected if you just looked at it. And I don't know what those problems might be for you, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Whenever you find yourself struggling, you have hurdles, challenges, something to get through, something to overcome, something's weighing you down, whatever those problems are, look at them and see what is the cause. Is it you just not having time to delegate to that thing? Are you overwhelmed? Do you have too many things going on? Do you need to cut a few things back so you can focus on whatever that issue is and kind of sort it out so it's not a problem anymore? I don't know the answer because I don't know your specific problems. But whenever I have problems and I'm looking at, issues I'm having with communication or teamwork and collaboration, or a project's just not going well, or, a point I'm trying to make isn't getting across, I always look at it like, well, what am I doing? Rather than just blaming it on everyone else and saying like, well, it's their fault. That's why I'm having these problems, because everyone else. That's the easy go-to. I think as human beings, that's the go-to. Our mind always goes to that spot of, it's someone else's fault. Someone else is doing it. It's their problem, and it's impacting me. It's hurting me, making problems for me. But after that initial human reaction, think about how you can change what you're doing to solve that problem, irregardless of what other people are doing, because you only have control over yourself. So you can't control how other people hear your messages or understand what you're saying or whatever it is. You can't control other people, but you can control yourself. So whatever you can do to fix those problems on your own, or with some kind of, start some kind of collaboration to fix the problem in a group, it still probably has to come from you to initiate it. And that can be very, very difficult when you're constantly just making excuses about everyone around you or the circumstances around you. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have the right gear. I don't know what the excuse is or what the problem is, but I would say that 9 times out of 10, it's probably something that you can address on your own if you just sit down and think about it critically. But most of the time in life, we get on these autopilot cruise control courses where we're just doing the same thing over and over again, having the same problems over and over and over again, and wondering why nothing's changing. Well, it's because we're not changing. We're not taking that formula and like turning it on its head and looking at it and shaking it out and saying, what's wrong here? How can I fix this? So if you are having problems like that you find that maybe there's a pattern, the same problem keeps coming up over and over and over again, well, what are you doing that's creating that pattern? Or maybe there's a certain type of problem that comes up with different people, Well, what's the common denominator there? You are. If there's some problem where like you don't have enough money, well, what are you spending your money on? Are you not making any money? Well, why aren't you making any money? What are you doing to generate income? And then how are you saving it, or what are you putting it towards in order to get that goal? And I'm not saying it's easy. It's never like going to happen overnight where you're just going to solve all your problems. But if you're never looking at them or never analyzing them or looking at how to actually fix it, what you can do to fix it, because it's very easy to blame other people and then nothing gets done. Anytime you're pointing fingers, blaming other people, making excuses for why things are the way they are, well, then they never change. And so if you start pointing the finger at yourself, looking in the mirror a little bit, you can see, oh, well, if I just did this a little bit different, or if I made this one change, that actually might impact that, and that might not be as big of a problem for me anymore. So I can't get any more specific than that because I don't know what the problems that you're having might be. And maybe you don't have problems. That's great. Maybe you solve all your problems, and that's excellent. That's a great place to be at. But I would imagine that the problems that do come up from time to time, as long as they're not those external factors, those things that just happen because of life that suck, if it's the other category where it's something you do have control over, take the time, analyze it, figure it out, and see what you can do to make it better.